respected ma'am, I'm Priya Shaji and I'm going to explain about lab experiment 5th, which is divided into 5 parts. The first part is to find the longest word within a given string. Now I'll use the split function, which is an inbuilt function. Now my code is okay. So here, firstly, I have created an variable called input, which will give me a prompt window, or it will just pop out a prompt box in which I will enter my keyword. Now after that, I have created a variable called array. It will split my string according to the spaces, because the delimiter I have given here is a space. Now this array will split my string according to the indexes, and it will give it to the variable LON. Now inside the for variable, it will swap according to the length of the words in the string that I have entered. Now document.write is used to print our output. If I run this, it will, as soon as I run this, it will give me an prompt to enter my string. Web development, longest word will be development, as it has more number of characters or letters as compared to the web. Now my second question is to calculate the BMI of my body by typing in the weight in kgs and height in meters. So when I give the BMI, it will calculate according to my values, that I am obese, underweight, normal, or underweight. Here is the code. Now when I see the script code inside the script tag, the weight variable I have created, which will this syntax document or get element by id will get the weight of the input that I gave, and dot value means it will extract the value wherever the id is given as weight. Now weight id is given here, id is equals to weight, it is given in this particular line. Now dot value, whatever input that I will give in this area, its value will be extracted here. It will get converted to float, and it will be in turn given to weight. Now similarly, the process will go on for height. Now I will calculate BMI here, weight upon height square, document.get element by id. Wherever my paragraph, whichever paragraph is having an id of score, it will change its HTML content. That's why dot inner HTML is given, and the value of BMI will be printed there. So my score ID is given here, my paragraph is here, and my BMI value will be given here. Now it will calculate that if it is less than 18, it will be underweight, between 18 and 25 normal, between 25 to 30 overweight, and accordingly, if it's none of the categories, it will be printed as obese. And if I run 18 kilograms, 50, height in meters 1.6, get BMI. My BMI is 19.53 and my body type is normal. So going to the third question. For the third question, it's quite interesting because I have to plant a flower garden in this. The user will give the number of input as number of rows and columns, and when I click on the plant garden button, it will be automatically planted. Here the variable array will get the array of the garden, or the array of the roses, number of roses that it's my wish that I'll give. Now this is the key thing in this program. Variable index is equal to math.floor math.random. This is a function, inbuilt function, which will regulate the rows and columns that is to be printed by shuffling the rows, by shuffling the flowers that I have mentioned in my array. Here is the rows input, column input. Similarly, like in the previous question I did, document.get element by id. The paragraph having rows will extract the value of the rows and will convert it to float and give it to rows variable. Similarly for columns. Now by regulating for loop for rows and columns, by declaring the variable I and j respectively, I will plant the garden. Document.get element by id garden where whichever paragraph having the element garden will change will change its inner HTML content. It will copy, or it will display the image of blue rose in place of this garden ID wherever this is given. And plus here, plus equals to is used for appending the images, means number of times I will press the plant garden button, though that number of times by shuffling it will be like a hit and trial method. Any flower can be picked up from my array and it will be planted. So similarly for the blue rose, I mean for the white rose. Now if I see the code above, the button on click grow is my function. When I click on click means when I click on the grow means the plant garden button, it will get the code functionality to this function grow, and the following process will take place that I just now explained. Now when I run this program, number of rows 2, number of columns 3, and I plant the garden C, and I change it to rows 2 plant garden, again 4 columns 3. So it is choosing randomly the flowers between blue rose and white rose. So my fourth experiment is to calculate the weight. The user will give its weight in kgs and it will be converted to pounds. The calculating factor is given here. So when I see my code, for when I see the code beyond the script tag, when I select the ID from, I have the option to change it from kg if I am giving an input of my weight in kgs, or in pounds if I'm giving my weight in pounds, and to which I'm getting the weight converted to 2 pounds or kg. So that in that way also I can change. I have an option here. Now button on click, when I click on the button calculate, it will call the convert function. Convert function is mentioned, the functions are always mentioned in the script tag. When the convert function is called, the following process takes place. For the text in variable document.getElementById data, now where the ID of data is given in this line, it will extract the value of the weight that the user has given an input over there, and it will give it to the text in. It's not for the weight, sorry, it's for the from which to where weight has to be converted. Like if I have given kgs, now it will extract the value of the kg. This will extract the index. This will extract the value to which, like 2 pounds I have to convert it. This will extract its index. Now if value is given in kgs and value 2 is lb, the following calculation will take place and my result will be shown in pounds. Now if my value that I have given initially in pounds and I have to convert it to kgs, the following calculation will take place. Now its following output is, like, weight in kgs is 50, converted to, I have the option, I have to user is giving the input in kgs and I have to convert it in pounds. If I calculate it, it will show the conversion here. Now my fifth one is the coin flip. It's quite easy because when I click the concept behind it is when I click the button flip, the coin image, the side which towards which it will flip, if it will flip towards head, the number of heads will be counted throughout my throws, or throughout my number of column flips that I am giving. So this is for my code for the on click button ID flip. When I click the button flip, it will go to the flip function. It is given in which is mentioned in the script tag. The flip function, I have the variable as heads and tails. Now heads document.getElementById, whichever paragraph having the num heads as the ID, it will extract the value or the number of times I have clicked the button or the number of times the head will be shown up in the coin. It will be converted to an integer value and it will be given to the heads. Now similarly for the tails, now using this math.flow, it is an inbuilt function, math.random. It is used for the button click. When I click the button, it will randomly show, like it's it's a fair coin, so it can show head or tail anytime. So it's used for that. Now if it's greater than 0.5, it will get element by its the syntax. Wherever the id coin is given, uh, the image will change to head.jpg, or else if this is not the required condition, then the image will change to tail.jpg, and the number of heads, its num heads, wherever the num heads id is given, its value will change to the number of heads that I have the coin is showing. Similarly for tails. Now when I run the output, this is my coin. When I flip it, heads, now it's showing heads, so it's, when I flip again, it's again shows head. Now it shows tail. Now total number of heads that I have got till now, it's 3, and total number of tails that I have got is 1. Now moving on to the last part, it's pizza order form. It's again an interesting question in which the user gives an input that I want to order a small pizza, medium sized pizza, or a large pizza, and the type of tip that I want to give, that is 10%, 15 or 20%, and it will calculate the total cost order without any complex issues or any complex calculations. So the function is called here button id is submit and on click calculate function. When the calculate order button is pressed, the calculate function is called in the script tag, where I have created variable sml, where document.get, if I go for small, the value for the small pizzas is extracted here, given to the variable. Similarly for medium and large ones. Now for the total, this is the required calculation for small one into 100 plus m into 200 l into 300, that is the required prices for the respective small, medium and large pizzas. Now this is the total amount price calculation, total plus total into 9 divided by 100. Now the tip that I will be the user will be mentioning, so document.query selector, that's a function, dot value. So the total tip will be calculated here by using this formula. So document.get element id, wherever the id price is, here this paragraph cost of order, in place of this the text content, or I can even use the inner HTML if I am using any other content here. So in place of that content, the total price will be shown. Now when I run the output, number of small pizzas 2, number of medium pizzas 1, large pizza 1, and the tip that I will give is 10%. Calculate order, my cost of order is rupees 839.3. So this was the output for all the 5 parts. So thank you, ma'am.